Hello, this is Jim. Welcome to my studio. I've always enjoyed drawing and art, and would really love to share this side of me with all of you. These are not tutorials. They show how I approach a drawing, but I hope they can inspire you to take up whatever materials you have around. It doesn't really matter. The brand or whatever, and create something that makes you happy. That's the main intention of these videos, is to show you what I do, and you can take it from there. And as far as materials and tools I use, I encourage you to experiment and find what works best for you. I'll mention what I use, but to be honest, there are so many art supplies out there that would do the same or probably better than what I use. The main thing about art is what's inside, what makes you happy, what you create that comes from inside, not from materials. It's all about experiment and just enjoying it. This photograph inspired me to make a drawing. A lot of what makes your drawing good or successful is the subject, the photograph, or where you're sitting and what you're looking at when you're drawing something. That's why you just can't pick up any old photograph or sit anywhere in a field and produce something that makes you happy. You need a subject that you relate with and you can do something with. But this barn with the old vehicles inside, I'm not sure what they are. One's a car on the left probably, and the one on the right could be a truck. But that's where your imagination takes over. And you can imagine the stories behind them, why they were left there. Was somebody planning to fix them up, or they were just abandoned in the barn and forgotten about? But for me, the barn looks like such a comforting, secure place with that kind of crooked window up the top looking down on the vehicles inside and just watching over them. And that all makes a difference when you're drawing something. If you're feeling something inside, if you stop once in a while in your drawing and just feel the moment. For artists, a lot of what's going on inside is emotion, feelings. So you have to kind of let them come out rather than just concentrate on technique. Of course, we all learn that technique, but hopefully you can get to a point that muscle memory and just memory itself takes over, and you can concentrate on the feelings you're getting as you're drawing. The smoothness of the pen on the paper, the feel of the paper, all these things are a part of what makes the drawing. After a while, after a little bit of practice and just seeing what comes out, what works for you, you can just let it it flow freely, and let the art almost create itself. And don't forget, there is no bad art. Whatever makes you happy and enjoyable to you when you're doing it, and when you're looking at it after, puts a smile on your face, that's what it's all about. I like this drawing because the subject is given lots of possibilities with shadow and shading and dark areas, mysterious areas inside the barn that you're not quite sure what's back there, but a few lines and leave a lot of white areas back in the barn to let your imagination run wild with what's going on back there, rather than making just a solid black area. Which you could as well. I mean, I'm not saying this is the way to do it. It's a very individual thing. 20 people could draw this subject and get 20 totally different results, and each of them would be a piece of art. But they would be different. I like this old barn because other than the shadows that it's creating, it also has a lot of details, a lot of the barn boards on the outside that you can put lines in and give a detailed look without too much trouble. Even has a chimney on top, which you don't see too many barns having a chimney on top, but there you go. There's another little bit of a story for you. You can imagine why that would have been there. Maybe there was a workshop on the second level. Maybe somebody lived in it once upon a time. Who knows? This is what I like about the pen, that you can create shadow by just lines, some simple hatching, parallel lines. And then the parallel lines on the ground, but going with the flow of the ground. Give the impression that it is a flat area, as if you were doing water as well. That would also be flat, going with the horizontally. And for the shading of the trees, I use the diagonal lines, the same as the diagonal on the side of the barn. Kind of every once in a while it does help with the look of the drawing if some of the lines are consistently in the same direction. You could even take the hatching further with the pen and do some cross hatching as well. Really make those dark areas dark and still keep it interesting, not just solid. But I think this one worked fairly well, just with the simple shading, the hatching. And even using the up and down hatching rather than the diagonal for the insides kind of gives a variation to the lines. It gives a little bit more interest. And I'm always learning myself what works and what doesn't work. Make a few of the main lines darker, because I realized if you did that, then it kind of makes it stand out from the background. Makes those trees recede a little bit into the background. And this drawing I really like as a black and white, actually. So at the end of the video I've put a picture of the final black and white image next to and also the final watercolored image. And because those lines coming down for the boards are a little simple, you want to put a variation in there again, because if you look at the picture there is variety in shading in the lines as well. Now here's the colors I use. And I tried to vary the color, not just using burnt sienna for the whole side of the barn with a little bit of red added, I think. So I put a little blue in there as well, just to vary the shades. And because of the pen hatching, the shadow sides are already darker, but and you want to add a bit more blue to those sides to make them darker. And the roof is kind of a rusty brown, so you just stick with the brown, put a little bit of variety in that color as well. The background I wasn't sure about. I put the purple just to recede them into the background and leave the warm colors up front to help accent the barn. Cooler colors always kind of recede into the background. And I was looking at the painting after, and I thought, well, maybe I should have put a little bit more detail, maybe some ink detail in the trees. But the overall image worked for me, keeping all the detail up front in the main subject. The grass, kind of like the ink drawing I did, it's very sketchy and not solid. It kind of makes it more, for me anyway, makes it more painterly and maybe a little bit more interesting, I guess. some nice dark in the background there. I mixed the burnt sienna with ultramarine blue to make that dark. And that, plus the ink hatching, made for a really nice dark in there. Gives some nice contrast with everything else. I think the contrast really helps a drawing like this. Something I'm working at, still trying to get right. I've always in watercolor just put a very light touch, so you end up with a picture sometimes that's very flat. A little bit more dark on the shadow sides, and underneath the eave over on the left side, a few little blotches there, so I just threw them in. Shadows are so important on these drawings. No matter what style you're using, whatever materials you're using, you want to get those shadows in. That's if you do want a sunny, bright scene, bright looking scene. Just a couple little accents on the grass there, make it a little bit more interesting, not just one flat green. And I want to thank everybody very much for watching and commenting. Some of the comments, or all of the comments, have been really amazing and encouraging me as well, as apparently you. I'm so happy that these can inspire people to draw and create something for themselves. Anyway, take care, and hopefully we'll see you again.